Sharice Jones, who is the owner of Sassy Jones Boutique, who is literally making boss moves on Facebook, on social media. So, I saw you on Playing with Your Family, and I thought that was incredible. Right? So we're here today because we want to know how we can make money moves like them through e-commerce, our strategy, and especially on our smartphones. So welcome to e-commerce, global reach with your smartphone. And thank you so much for being here today.
No problem.
So I had the opportunity to interview you both, but tell us who you are and what your business is and what you're most excited about as a businesswoman. And we'll start with you, Erica.
Sure, yeah. So I am Erica Perry. I'm a mom of 3 and a wife, and I always start with that because for me that's paramount. But on top of that, I'm also a philanthropist, I'm a consultant, I'm an investor, and I'm a businesswoman. And I started the Stork Bag almost 5 years ago, so we're almost over that hump. And the Stork Bag has turned into a global brand. We've sold in 32 different countries, as well as all over the United States, and we are currently the #1 pregnancy subscription brand in the whole United States, almost world. With my husband together, we also run the largest self-help brand, which is You Are Creators. So I'm very excited to be here and very excited to answer your questions and to speak with you all.
I'm Sharice Jones. I'm the owner of Sassy Jones Boutique. We are an award-winning accessory brand. We specialize in exquisite pieces for sophisticated women that are on the go. I have been in business for 6 years now, and we majority operate e-commerce, but we also do have a brick-and-mortar store located in Richmond, Virginia. What I am most proud about is being able to have it all. So even though you might be a wife, you might be a mother, you might have all these things going on, you do not have to sacrifice one for the other. With balance and strategic planning, you definitely can have it all. And that's what I'm most proud of.
You know, I want to start from the beginning, and I want to know, how did you both get your businesses started, from ideation to strategy and implementation? And either one of you can decide to use.
Okay.
I'll go.
Okay.
So I continually kept getting fired. So it's not the most ideal way. It's totally not a glamorous story, but girl, I was fired like 3 times from like really good jobs, really good jobs. And so I knew that that was called something. I just didn't know that it was, okay, little girl, you're a little rebel. You don't need to be working this corporate job. You know, maybe you need to do your own thing. And for me, that looked like entrepreneurship. So I got started by selling a Mercedes. I had a car that was paid off. I didn't have any money for inventory, and I sold the car. An African man called me while I was sitting down having dinner and gave me cash for the car, and that's how I bought my first lump of inventory. How we were able to scale was by doing this insane trade show all up and down the East Coast, this marketing tour. My very first year that my boys, I have twin boys, they'll be 4 on Saturday. The very first year that they were born, so that's how we got our lift. I don't recommend it because it's insanity, but when you want it so bad, you gotta do it.
Yeah, for sure. And my story is very similar. I actually went and got my master's degree, and I was working in a nonprofit, and I just knew that's what I wanted to do. And I remember getting my master's degree, and after I got that master's degree, I was in the field. And I remember my supervisor at the time, she told me, she said, I'm going to be leaving, and I want you to take my position. And I think she expected me to be excited, and I was like, really? I don't think I want that. And so I actually left my job at a time that my husband left his job too. And I was pregnant with our 3rd son at the time, so people were like, y'all are crazy, what are you doing? On top of that, being even crazier, I wiped out our savings account and started the Stork Bag. So I literally started the Stork Bag with $1,000 that was in the savings account. I was going out to different stores and shopping on the clearance rack, and I set myself a goal, and that's what I really advise for everyone to do, is to set a goal. And I said, if I sell that 100 Stork Bags within 1 year, then I have something, and I will really put everything into it. And we sold the first 100 bags within 3 months. And I said, okay, I really have something here. And this was all organic. We just started to do paid marketing and advertising at the top of last year. So this was all organic, all on social media, and that's really how we got started. And how we scaled was still, I was doing it, being my crazy self, and I was going after those large companies and saying, hey, we're out here, this is what we do. celebrity's wife, she's his wife now, Tank, which is an R&B singer, she got a stork bag, she posted about it on social media, and I got a lot of customers in, and I said, oh, maybe there's something to this influencer marketing. And from there, we've gotten a lot of celebrity endorsements, but that's really how we got started.
Right. So what consider to create an e-commerce strategy so that they can really grow their business?
Yeah, I think the main thing that you all should consider is strategy. And I think it's so easy for you to think all I have to do is hop on Facebook or Instagram, put out some bomb pictures, and people are going to come. But sure, people are going to come, but what's going to happen when you sell more products than what you have? What's going to happen when you cannot fulfill all of those orders? So having a strategy, having the right people in place, projecting in order for you to be able to grow and not hit a wall when it's time for you to produce all of the results and produce all of the services or products.
That's really good. Sharice, you were just shaking your head and making some faces. And I'm here for it because you use social media so strategically. I see you on my Instagram feed and then I trickle over to Facebook and you're there.
I'm sorry.
It's fine. I love it. I'm like, oh, wow, the ad or is this video? I'm not sure, but I'm here for it. So you use social media and you also have an app and you've been able to generate, the dollars in U.S. currency.
Not pesos.
Not pesos.
That's incredible for your business in 7 months. Can you talk to us about strategy and why knowing your audience and being authentic and having a voice is important, especially with the work that you're doing?
Totally. Marketing is my zhuzh, but I was never that way at the beginning. Like, I hated marketing, I didn't know what to do with it. But the minute that I decided to step in front of my brand and allow the customers to get to know who it is that they're doing business with and start talking to them. And so many corporations spend millions of dollars on consumer research. You don't have to. You just ask your customer what they want and you deliver on that thing. So what you're talking about with the ads and everything, with the paid marketing, I do this really cool thing called the Sparkle Party. And it's how we are able to make the connection with our customers. All it is my version of HSN. That's it. I was watching a live stream of a very popular businesswoman, and she was saying how you should actually create an HSN-like experience for your brand, especially if you sell products. I'm like, okay, I think I can do this, right? So with working with what was already in my hands, I did it in my kitchen. I got 2 diaper boxes, because I had twins at the time, 1 box for each baby. I set myself on that. I could not afford a ring light at the time. I went to Lowe's and got one of them plant floodlights that you put in the bag. Yeah, one of them. I clamped it to my dining room table. The dining room chair actually still has the edges today from that clamp. But starting with what you have, with where you are, you don't have to aspire to do all of these big things so fast. Just use what you have and get to know your customer via social media. And I definitely recommend live streaming. It's the quickest, easiest way, for sure.
And Eric, I have to ask, how do you plan and execute your strategy around each aspect of the customer experience, especially when you go from discovery to sales and relationship?
Yeah, so it's a lot of compartmentalizing, but then syncing it all together. And so that's really where a team comes in, and that's really where a strategy comes in. So we have a team that goes out and we vet and we get different companies. And by the way, the vision is to have 100% of all of our products in our stork bags to be mom-owned or woman-owned product. And right now we're about at 95%. So we go out and we look for the different brands, we look for the different products that you may not have known about, and we go and we put them into our bags to give them visibility. But we also go out and we look at the business-to-business partnerships. And for us, that's what's most important right now because people know the stork bag, but what about the businesses? So we have a department or we have a team that does that as well, but then we know our customer. We know how our customer talks, we know how she looks, we know what she wants, and we know where to go to find her and how to talk to her once we do find her. And it's about, I think Damien, who spoke before, he talked about desirability, and it's about telling a story to sell a product and not just going out there and saying, hey, I have a skirt bag, this is what's in it, and this is how much it costs. But we're telling a story, and believe it or not, we have a team for that too. So the team kind of brings together what my passion is, my why, we develop the story around it, and we go talk to to our customer and tell her why she desires this product. And she's like, oh, I do want that product. And that's what it's all about. So it's about having your separate strategies and being able to sync them all together for one brand strategy and having a team to really execute everything because you can't do it all yourself. So for me, I had this grandiose vision, and I still do, and I have so many other things that I want to do, but I have a team that I can say, okay, I want to be able to do this, can you go reach out to them? Can you reach out to them? Let's do this and let's do this. And so, like I said, it's about having structure, having a team, and having a strategy for everything that you're trying to do.
Really to the conversation that we had over the phone, which was mind-blowing for me. And Sharice, you made a really incredible point about team. And our default setting when it comes to thinking that we have to do everything on our own. Think about that, especially as it relates to solo entrepreneurs who want to take it to the next level.
I remember that conversation. So, solopreneurship is cute, right? It's cute for a little bit, but you can only get so far. And I remember the decision that I made to hire my first employee. Like, I was right there financially where I knew if I brought someone in, I might not be able to afford her all the way, but if I could just bring her in, I could free myself up to do other income-generating activities. I hired this first girl. There was a many a Friday, came payday, that I was wishing that she would leave without information. She would turn around, she'd be like, she forgot to pay me. I'm like, ah, you know? Because it was so difficult during those beginning phases, but building a team is the only way that you are going to grow. Today, we have different departments. My husband was able to leave his corporate job from Verizon and join us full-time in January. We have a full marketing staff. We have an in-house fulfillment center. And that's only able to free me up to do things like this and talk to you people. So it's all full circle, but you've got to build a team. It's one of the most important things that should be on your top 3 list when you're a solopreneur.
That's incredible. And Erica, we actually have what I consider to be an empire of brands underneath the store bag. Correct me if I'm wrong. Can you tell me how you've been able to build teams successfully over the years?
Yes. So it wasn't easy in the beginning, and I have to tell you, one of the hardest things to do as an entrepreneur for me, for sure, is firing people. I don't like to do it because I don't know how to sugarcoat a fire. It's just like, you're not doing what I need you to do, you gotta go. You know what I mean? I don't know how to sugarcoat and say, but you're a really good person, I'm like, you gotta go. And so, but I'm saying it with a smile, you know, so I think that kind of throws people off. But for me, like I said, it's really important for you to have a team so that you can, when you have those ideas, you can say, okay, hey, I have an idea for fingernail polish. That's our latest product. We have a 12-free fingernail polish. What 12-free means is we've taken all of the nasty chemicals from out of our fingernail polishes, and we produce the fingernail polish that is organic, it's all natural, and it looks really pretty. This is Stork Bag Pink, by the way. But we have a variety of different colors. We have our Belly Butters, which is a fan favorite. It's a stretch mark cream, shea butter base. Even if you're not pregnant, I'm telling you, you will love it. And so to go back to your original question, I have been able to brand these different products and really come up with these different brands because I do have that free time to be able to develop the ideas. I have ideas popping in my head all the time, and I'll call up my assistant and say, hey, write this down, you know, contact Emerald, contact Ashley, contact whoever you need to contact so we can get this going. And the type of person I am is after a week, if I haven't heard anything from them, I'm like, hey, why don't we have people banging on the door right now to manufacture this product? Or why haven't I seen a logo or whatever it may be? So it's very important to develop that team, and I know I keep going back to it, but it's so very important. You can't do everything. You cannot do everything by yourself. But for me, to develop the different products also provides exclusivity. And I don't know if any of you have a subscription box or a subscription bag, but developing exclusivity in the subscription space is so very important. Because I have subscribed to beauty boxes, and 2 of them had the exact same products in it. And I was like, wait, why am I getting the same product? These are different brands. But when you have exclusivity and you've made the product so nobody else can carry these products, now when your customer gets your bag or your box, they're going to get all new products. And do you think that when I got that box, those boxes that had the same product, did I unsubscribe, or do you think I continue to subscribe? I unsubscribe. Because why? I can go to Target and buy that and get it for probably a little less. So it's very important for you all to not only develop the team, but to also try your best to try and brand as much as you can. Make it your own, because if you make it your own, then no one can take it from you.
Another thing that you both have been able to own is your community. Sassy Jones Boutique, just Sassy Jones is what everyone is talking about right now. You have been able to form a really engaged community, but you've also been able to monetize your community.
Yeah.
Talk to us more about both of those things.
Yeah, so we have an internal community and we also have an external community. And we do a really good job of segmenting our customers and letting the outsiders know that there is an inside. So no matter where you are in your business, make sure that you have some sort of higher tier service, higher tier product that your baseline customers can aspire to. So our external community looks like the women who come to travel parties and the women who engage on our social media, right? And so we nurture them too. We email them every day. We teach them how 3 ways to style their scarf. We're nurturing them continually, right? We're responding to their emails and to their social media within minutes with thoughtful, provoking responses, not just generality. Now the inside community, now when you reach the promised land, here's how that works. So we have a rewards program. All of you product-based businesses need a rewards program. What that looks like for us is a software that we use called Swell, okay, inside of Shopify. So with us, when you shop, you earn a point, right? You can also earn points by referring, doing different things like that, engaging with our social media. But when you earn a certain level of points and only then, i.e. 1,250 points, you were then welcomed into this community. I want you to think sisterhood, sorority on steroids. So whatever you're thinking is times 100. For example, this past month, they are all over the country. There's hundreds of them because we're a global brand. They flew in to our hub, Richmond, Virginia. We had a white tablecloth dinner at a fine Italian restaurant, shut the restaurant down. That night we surprised them with a shopping trip in our warehouse, not boutique, but the warehouse. No one gets to come in our warehouse, that's when we fulfill orders. And then the next day, we chartered them to Wine and Polo, where they were met with hot pink tents, hundreds of these women there to meet each other and experience the brand tangibly. But the best part of it all is the sisterhood. You cannot tell us that we don't know one another. We have paid for funerals. We have flown to family reunions. Whenever there's a one sister that lives in California, she's passing through Texas, guess what? Everyone is at the airport to see that California sister. So that is the type of community that we have fostered. Now, in terms of monetizing it, it's easy. It's completely easy. Because these women, they are high engagers. They love the brand. They want a piece of the brand. They're stakeholders, right? And so anything new that we have, they get it first. They make decisions with us. The names of this necklace, the name of that neck scarf, they make, right? And so they're invested in the brand because we're taking them along with us. And then the other part of that, we get to sell the products to them first. There is notoriety amongst them as, oh girl, I got that first, and you didn't, right? And then they have this sparkle party telling all the other viewers that's not in the group they got it first, right? So it's like having a glass bowl in your brand where other customers can say, hey, I need to aspire to be there. And that's what's really worked well for us.
How are you able to form a community around the products that you care so much about and distribute to your customers?
Yeah, you know what? We know our customers. We know how they think because we are them. I sell to mothers, and I'm a mother. Everyone on my team, all of my employees are women. They're mothers. We don't discriminate, but it just so happens that it's just all women and mothers. And so we're able to kind of sit around the table and talk about what it is that you wanted when you were in your first trimester. What did you want when you were in second? And just really talk about exactly what you wanted. Talk about the stuff that you don't even talk about when someone's pregnant. Like when I was pregnant with my first son, nobody told me that my uterus would contract after I had the baby and all that pain. So I'm like, wait, what? Nobody told me about this. And so really getting down into what is pregnancy. And not only what is pregnancy, but how can we make mom feel good? And really telling that story and reverting back to what I talked about before, really telling a story. How can we tell a story so that people can resonate with what we're saying and they look at the product and they say, huh, that does represent me, or that will make my body baby shower really quickly. Yes, and most of the time at a baby shower, you're buying gifts for who? The baby. You never buy gifts for the mom. Mind you, the mom is sitting here and she's growing a human inside of her body. She has swollen feet. She's probably tired, but she's sitting here and everybody's giving her gifts for the baby. So my plan and my goal now, it will always be my goal, is to reinvest in mom and refocus on mom. What about mom? What about making mom feel good? And believe it or not, something small, a bouquet of flowers will make mom feel good because that makes her feel like somebody's thinking about me. And that's what this Stork bag is all about. It's not just products that you need throughout your pregnancy, but it's products that you want throughout your pregnancy. It's products that make you feel pretty. It's products that make you feel fit. Even if you don't really look fit in your mind, it's products that make you feel good about yourself. And so for us, the story, the brand story behind the Stork bag has to stay consistent. And because it does stay consistent, we build up loyalty, we build up trust, and that allows us to really go out there and sell to our customers.
And actually do business on your cell phone is so important to know how to measure and how to understand the numbers as far as it relates to analytics. Sharice, can you tell me, going beyond the customer, what have you learned about your audience, but how are you able to use your analytics to make or help you make your next business move?
Yeah, so back in the day when I was just getting started, my analytics was purely who came to my booth, right? There was no sophistication behind my technology. And I sold to every trade show, white trade shows, Hispanic trade shows, black women trade shows, and I sold to the ones who had mixed crowds. And I noticed one thing, I just set up, who gravitated toward my brand? It was a professional African American. Who my customer was? Oh boy, did I dedicate all of my designing, all of my products and my services directly to making her feel undeniably confident about herself. So that's where it started. Now today, analytics looks a little bit differently. What we used for our website, I mentioned it before, was Shopify. You have an e-commerce platform. I recommend Shopify. I have used them all.
Shopify.
Praise God.
Yes.
Praise me. And so you have two bosses sitting here telling you the same thing. So if you're not on Shopify, make sure that you are. The reason why I love Shopify is because of the analytics. So there's things like heat maps, right? So I can see, based off of who's on the website right now, where you are in the world, how quickly you're trending to cart, then trending to checkout. Also, there's analytics as to how many people are on your website right now. What were the top products sold? What social platform did they come to? And what did they click on first? If they clicked on necklaces, how long did they stay on the necklaces category? And if they were on the necklace category for more than a minute, what necklace were they specifically looking at? That teaches me how to rearrange my products on the website, bring those popular ones up to the top. The ones that might not be selling as well, maybe I need to reshoot them and reposition them in the right way. A lot of us give up too easy because we're like, something isn't selling. It just needs to be repackaged. It needs to be repurposed. Maybe I need to style it with a black dress instead of a white dress. Maybe we need to shoot it at the winery or at the music festival because Essence is coming up and our customers can see herself there versus in a winter coat because it's out of season, right? And the next thing you know, things are flying off the shelf, right? So Shopify is my biggest tool. And also paid marketing. Can I talk about that too?
Yes,
okay. So paid marketing. It is not true in e-commerce that if you build it, they will come. Can I get an amen? Okay, it's not a lie from the pit of hell, right? So the thing about it is, like, I was so discouraged when I first built my website. I'm like, Lord, I cannot leave my job making $25 a day, if that, right? But when I discovered paid marketing, you're like, oh my God, Sharice, your brand blew up overnight. Oh my God, which is a lie. But Sharice, I've seen you everywhere, right? That's the result of my money, not me. Sharice is on the couch, right? But the investments that I have made on these different social platforms allows the brand to have visibility. So when you're thinking about accessories or your next event, we're top of mind because we've invested. To the tune of today, we spend $30,000 a month on Facebook alone. That doesn't even count all of the other social platforms that we're about to get into. So when I say it's not true that if you build it, they will come, you have to lasso them around the neck and you have to bring them to you. And at a certain point, you're gonna find that you can't do that on your own. Those sorts of things require investment. It requires, maybe if you're working your corporate job, you need to save a stat so you can go ahead and invest in an income generating company or marketing team or whatever that looks like for you. But you cannot be afraid. It works, I promise you. And if it's not working for you because you're doing it on your own, you need to find someone who specializes in it. It'll make all the difference in the world, I promise.
That is gold for me. Now, Erica, you have a global brand. There are moms all over the world, clearly. But I need to know, how do you tailor your marketing efforts to really maximize on your customers around the world?
Yeah, it was trial and error. Our first international customer was a boutique in the Netherlands. And I remember the boutique owner, she called me up and she said, listen, our customers don't shop like Americans. We don't care about this smelly stuff that goes on the belly. We don't care about these pretty little stickers that goes on the belly. What we care about is this, this, and this. And it was streamlined. It was like they wanted a book, but I don't know, my books are in English. So I'm like, so what do I do? And she's like, how about this? This is what we want. And so for me, that was an eye-opener because I'm from Florida. I was living in Chicago at the time. And so for me, even Florida customers shop different than Chicago customers. So it was really trying to really understand, what does each market need? What does each market want? And so when you look at global, that's going to be something that's going to be very important for you to look at, really, social media. Social media. And it's free for you to go on Instagram and look around at the different brands that may be like yours. It's free for you to go on Facebook. And you need to really look at what they're doing around the world, especially if you want to build your brand into a global brand. You need to see, what are they doing out in Africa? What are they doing out in the Netherlands and the UK? And really try to center your brand around what they are doing. Because if you are from Charlotte and you just want to sell in Charlotte, then just look at Charlotte. But if you're from Charlotte and you're trying to sell all around the world, you need to be looking all around the world. And it does not take any financial investment for you to get your cell phone and scroll on Instagram, because you probably do it already, because we all do. We're on Instagram all the time. So if you're going to be on there, why not be on there investing your time into your brand?
That's really good. And I have to ask a question about branding because you both do it so well. Sharice, head to toe, Sassy Jones Boutique or no?
No.
Okay, tell us what you're wearing.
Okay, so because we're an accessory brand, so I'll talk about the accessories. Is that okay? Okay, so we have some petals on the ear. Sherry, what's the name of these petals, child? What's the name? Ginger. Yeah, it's got the ginger petals. We got so many SKUs now.
This is Kabibi. Kabibi actually comes with 2 of these brooches, but they're removable. It comes on the necklace. So I'd like to style them, alternatively on the bracelet, on the blazer. Mahogany. We have a subscription box. This ring was one of the pieces in November. This is a throwback Fendi watch. And my stylist pulled the rest of it. I believe the rest of it came from Sadness.
I enjoy it. I enjoy it all. I'm sure you all have taken a look or two. I took 3. But the reason why I say that is because you are a walking, talking advertisement of Sassy Jones Boutique, and that is so important. And Erica, when you introduce yourself, I am a mother, I am a mompreneur, it is all over your website. I think it's incredible that we become our own advertisers and speaking heads and spokespersons for ourselves. So I just wanted to touch on that, just so that while we talk about having this global reach, we're also intentional about being the brand as well.
Yeah, and you have to be okay with that. There's something that I teach that says, when you tell people who you are, it has to make sense, right? And so we were having a staff meeting, and I had a new hire. She's a digital content manager. And she told me a story about how she saw a woman in a grocery store, one of our necklaces, and she wanted to approach her to get her video, say, hey, to Cherise, but she couldn't approach her in confidence because she wasn't well put together. She did not feel confident in saying, hey, I work for Sassy Jones. And then the next thing the customer's gonna do is look up and down and determine mentally whether that makes sense or not, right? So no matter where you are in your business, if you're an accountant, if you're a fashion stylist, if you're a hairstylist, if you're a nail tech, I know they walk around with their hair raggedy, their nails raggedy, true. But you have to make sure that when I say what I say I am, I'm believable, right? And so that's what it's all about. That alone will take you so far.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think the first thing really that people see is how you look. People make judgments based on how you look. So you can put 3 people up here and more than likely most of us can identify who's the boss, who's the worker, and who probably works for someone else, maybe a corporation or something like that, because we're looking at people and we're judging them. Regardless on if you say you aren't judgmental, we all are. We look at people and we judge them. So just like Sharice was saying, it's so very important that you wear your brand, that you wear your company. So I'm not an accessories, I don't sell accessories or anything, but I sell nail polish. And this is Stork Bag Pink again, by the way. And I'm a mom, and I'm a mom entrepreneur, and I partner with mom entrepreneurs, and I make products for mom entrepreneurs, and I make products for moms. So the most important thing for me to do whenever I'm talking is talk about being a mom, because that's what I am. And the most important thing for me to do is talk about how we can invest in mothers and how we can invest in women entrepreneurs, because we're out here. Y'all are out here. And so as a representation of that, I have to make sure that I'm cognizant of how I look when I'm on a stage, how I look when I'm on social media, how I look when I'm out, because we have You Are Creators, and a lot of people say, hey, are you Erica, Justin's wife from You Are Creators? And I'm like, yeah, that's me. And if I'm looking a mess, they're like, oh, I saw Erica and she was looking. And so I don't want people to be able to, I don't want people to have that opportunity to do that. So it's so very important that you're very mindful of how you look when you walk out of the door and how you look when you go to events like this, especially when you plan on approaching people and giving people your business card. Please believe that boss lady or that boss man is about to look. We're about to see how you look, and you saying, well, I'm looking for a job, or I'm doing this and I'm doing that, and I'm like, okay, you came here with some jeans and this cut-off shirt, okay, all right, I'm gonna take you serious. So it's very important, if you want to be taken seriously, you have to look the part.
One said, you have given us so many tools and resources. I hope everyone's taking notes using the hashtag #MeInQC, and it is officially time for Q&A. So if you have questions, there are mics around the room. I will ask that you limit your questions to a question and not a pitch. Our speakers will be available after the session. Thank you. All right, we'll start right here in the red blazer. Not on. I'm not sure if there is a button that you can click or if someone's gonna come and run with it. Let's see. While you figure out the red jacket and the mustard jacket, is yours on? Well, can you project?
Of course I can. Hello, ladies. Hey, everybody. How y'all doing? I am Miss Green. I'm a publicist. I'm the owner of the Aqua Agency. My question is, when it comes to your type of businesses, marketing is always mentioned and always important. However, there's a very, very fine line between public relations and marketing. So my question is, how do you add value proposition to people who are finding so much value in marketing and not really understanding the value in PR?
I think you separate the two. Like you said, there's a difference between PR and marketing. And I don't think people know that. I don't think that they know that you need to separate the two. So in order to do that, first you're looking at a customer and you're looking at a particular product. For me, I sell products. So when I'm going and I'm marketing the Stork bag, I'm marketing our Stork nail polish, I'm marketing our belly butters, but when we look at PR, we're marketing the entire brand. We're marketing Erica. And so when we market Erica, we're saying Erica is this mom entrepreneur. When we're marketing the brand, we're saying the brand is for women, by women. When we market the Stork bag, we say the Stork bag is the best pregnancy gift ever. It's different conversations, and so it's going to be important for you to be able to separate the two.
I was going to say I was a little confused by that because I don't think that they're the same at all. I think marketing is more so teaching how to teach people how to use your product, where PR is teaching the world how to view your product and how to view your brand. So in my organization, they're two completely different things. And you're right, the personal brand helps the regular brand, and it's just a cycle. So.
So my issue has always been, especially the education portion of it. Maybe just keep yelling, I'm sorry. So the education portion of it is because I do explain the difference. However, when it comes to the money, people want to see that return, that ROI, when they pay for PR, the same as they think they're supposed to see it with marketing. And I appreciate that you ladies are educated about that, but the vast majority of potential clients
don't. So I didn't know if there was like a specific keyword, because again, I'm going to them and I'm explaining, you know, with PR, we are branding you and highlighting you. We're not highlighting and branding your product.
Right.
However, when it comes to pay, they want to say, well, okay, if I'm spending X amount of dollars on PR, but you aren't giving me the same return as if I put this billboard up.
You might have the wrong customer. It might just be time to find a new client base, right? Because if you have to there is a work in teaching your customer about what it is that you do, and maybe you just need to repackage it. Maybe you need a new intro video that teaches the customer the difference, so by the time they get to you, you don't have to deal with those asinine questions, right? But what you have to do is you've got to seek that. You also have to attract it. You know, and so does your website, does your branding look good enough to be able to attract that type of clientele? So all of that work belongs to you, and then the separation should be easy.
Thank you so much, and thank you for your patience.
No, thank you for your patience. Hello. My name is Tanya Ford. I'm the owner of Making Statements Boutique. We are also an accessory boutique with jewelry and custom tees. I first want to say I salute you, beautiful black women up there who've done amazing things in this industry. We all applaud you and admire you. My question is, again, and you all have given us great nuggets, starting from the top, from the bottom, you know, when you first get started, like what are your advice and recommendation on like your first employee to hire, your first major investment? I know you guys are where you are, you're spending thousands now on marketing and things of that nature, but how did you get there? You know, what was your focus on social media, Instagram versus Facebook? You know, the algorithm changes and things of that nature. How did you build, you know, your clientele up to where you are now?
It didn't come with any of that. For me, before I hired my first employee, before I was hot on Instagram or Facebook, it started with my mindset, right? So peeling back the layers, and my big first investment was coaching, right? I had gotten myself as far as I could get myself. I had ran myself so raggedy up and down the United States of America in that minivan that I still have today. You know, that was the grind. Everyone doesn't know about the grind. You get to sit on the stage and talk about the glory, right? But that's part of the grind. Now, when I was able to come across a coach that knew more than me, they talked about it in the previous session, you have to be willing to identify it and then invest. Once you put yourself and submit yourself to someone that's already been there and done it, then you can make the money to go and invest in Facebook and have the high branding and all of those things. But I believe first it starts with your mindset, because you can't even get there if you toe down your mind.
Thank you.
Hello, ladies. My name is Tracy Massey. I'm a certified life coach, speaker, and author here in Charlotte, North Carolina. I want to back up and let's talk about this team. So when you first started out, what was the turning point when you realized, like, hey, I need to bring someone in? And was that person a virtual assistant or somebody else that you needed to help build your momentum and keep it there?
Yeah, so I started out with a virtual assistant, but I quickly learned I'm the type of person, I need that person in the office with me. I need to be able to see her eyes when I'm talking to her, make sure she's paying attention. I need that person there with me. So I did start off with a virtual assistant. It didn't work out for me. Not saying that it won't work out for you. But when you are starting your team, you don't want to find people that's just like you. You want to find people that can fill those gaps of maybe where you're not that strong, in an area where you're not that strong, or in an area that you can kind of hand the baton off. There are some things that you just won't like doing. There are some things that I don't like doing. And so I started to hire people so they could take that burden, and I didn't feel like I was tied down doing some of those things that I did not like doing. So I think when you are starting out and you're hiring that team, you really want to first figure out what it is that you need. You know, what I hired first, who Sharice hired first may be different, you know, from what the type of person that you need to hire first based on your company. So first, you really need to see what your goals are. You need to project and see what your projections are, and then hire based on that.
For me, I just got sick of doing all the work, and my sales started to decline. because I was so busy answering the phone, answering emails, shipping orders, doing Sparkle Party, all of these things. And I'm like, okay, well now because I'm so busy, I can't go and make money. So that was my motivator. Like when I started to see the sales dip because I couldn't go kiss babies and shake hands, that's when I knew that no matter what it took, I just needed to get someone in there. That first person for me looked like a woman who I found off of Craigslist. I was her first job out of college. I wasn't looking for some high-powered executive with all of this experience. I was more attracted to her mindset and was she teachable. And so I knew that I could bring her in and mold her. And today, she has her own department. She's our operations manager with 12 women working under her. That was just a year and a half ago, you know? So I would say identify your need and just start small.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Tessie. Thanks, ladies, for being here today. My name is Jay Vail. I'm based in Dallas. I'm CEO of Ink Tutoring. We're the #1 Black-owned tutoring company in DFW and the Southern United States. As far as the team, we've been talking about teams. We have 49 tutors now between Dallas, Frisco, Chicago, DC, and Austin. So we want to know how to kind of grow that and scale up with the team more intentionally. However, in addition to that, with the sales, how do we, or what is your opinion from a female perspective in the tutoring side of the house and education? Women are the #1 individuals who make the educational decisions in the household. In about 2 years, we've had about $300,000 in revenue. So what I wanted to know is, how do we scale that, bring in more revenue through marketing, through social media, and possibly other avenues where our female audience, whether it be millennial or Generation X, who are those buyers, would be able to help grow our organization and scale with revenue?
You know what helps me is I turn marketing inside out, right? And so instead, we're starting to do this in our brand right now. So instead of using all this professional stuff or my face on a lot of products, let your customers and your clients who have the success stories be your influencers, right? And so the success stories that you already have, put them on the forefront. You know, run a paid ad talking about a testimonial and let them sell the others. And you just sit back and you can operate at a high level at a bird's eye view. But that's what's working for me.
Yeah, and I agree with what Cherie said. And I would also say offer more value. You can never go wrong by offering more value. As a matter of fact, I have a client, which is like one of my #1 clients. She has a tutoring background and she has a box that would be perfect for you all to kind of connect. So I'm gonna connect you to. But I think offering more value, if you're you're trying to market to women and you're trying to market to the mothers, it's going to be different from marketing to dads. Because just like you said, the mothers are the ones who are usually making those educational decisions. So try to figure out, how can I offer more value to my core customers and what that looks like. And once you figure that out, then you take that and you can go and you can build your marketing strategy based on that extra value that you can add. Then to go back to your question about scaling, first you need to figure out more value. It all goes back to more value. You know, I'm a subscription box entrepreneur, and so for me, if I'm selling a box for $45, it's going to be important for me to try to put at least $90 worth of products in there, because I want my customer to be wowed. So if you have a service, you want your customer to be wowed. So our tutors not only come in there and teach reading and math, but we also have this, or we also teach emotional intelligence, or whatever else you can add to it to add value to your customers or to your clients.
Hi, my name is Raven Solomon. I'm a keynote speaker and a first-time author. I was just recently featured in Forbes for my book, which is a huge awesome. Thank you. It's so exciting. But with that, I really need help kind of carrying that momentum forward and riding that wave. So my question is, when you first made that initial investment into marketing support, what were some of the criteria you look for? Because in this day and age, everybody swears they're an expert in marketing, they're an expert in social media, so I'm having trouble finding the right marketer who can support my business.
For me, it looked like receipts, right? So I started marketing on my own independently. I was trash at running Facebook ads, you know, and so, but I knew that I had a good thing going on with me, but it just needed to be magnified. I didn't microphone, right? And so I hired the first guy who came highly recommended, and he got me as far as he could get me. He was a solopreneur, he had staff, but that's another story. The research, which is even why when you delegate things to different organizations and different companies, you still gotta be in it, baby girl. You still have to like be logging in every day, see what's going on. Don't just leave it to them because you've hired them. You need to trust but verify. Inspect what you expect, right? And so through doing that process, thanks to my husband, he was able to find a few holes. And so then we moved on to another marketer where Facebook only has 5 ad agencies that they give a badge, and we're with one of their 5, right? Because they had receipts. That's also how we ended up getting an invite to Facebook. So you just have to know what your goals are, do the research, and then, just go from there.
Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, my name is Veronica Crafton, and I'm the owner of Amazingly Uplifted. We're an educational consultant company based out of Atlanta, and they told me to be brief, so I'm trying to make it short. So my question is, I've been in business since 2013. Started off as a solopreneur. In October, I hired my first full-time employee, and now we are up to 7. However, the clients, they are used to Veronica. My employees, just as qualified, maybe even more than I am, because I prefer to be a CEO from my couch next year. So how do I get my clients to understand that, hey, this person is just as qualified as I am. You may not get this, but you're still getting someone who's great.
Yeah, I think do warm introductions. I don't know if you all know the difference between a cold call and a warm call, but you want to do a warm introduction. So before you pass off those clients to the new staff, you want to first go in with them and say, hey, this is this person, and you want to boost your people up. So if they're coming in with this degree and they have this and like Cherie said, receipts, you want to tell them they came from this, they did this, so that your clients can feel comfortable. You want your clients and your staff to feel confident in knowing that they're going to be great at what they do. But don't just take a step back and say, okay, I'm going to hand you off to, whatever the new employee's name is. You want to warm them up and let them know, I'm still here, but she's here too because we're growing. And so kind of like what Sharice was saying before too, about letting your customers be involved. And I'm talking involved because they feel invested. And so when you feel invested in a company, you're gonna ride with them until the wheels fall off, regardless. And so you want them to ride with you, you wanna build that trust, you wanna build that loyalty. And to do that, when you're introducing new people, you're gonna have to hold their hand and you're gonna have to tell them, this person is just as great as me, and this is why.
Thank you. We're at the rapid fire. I don't want anyone to not have their question answered.
So I'll go quick. Hello, ladies. God bless you all. I'm so proud of you, ladies, for what you're doing.
You look gorgeous, by the way.
Well, thank you. Thank you. My name is Kimberly Hairston Hicks, and I just launched a skincare line specifically towards Black women. So my question is, how have you all scaled your business? Did you go after doing the pitch competitions versus VC money, angel investment? How have you scaled your business?
Personally, we have never had an investor. No. We pretty much just saved. We got by on a few small loans, like PayPal loans, Shopify loans, stuff like that. But no major bank loan or anything to that nature. So we were pretty much all grassroots, self-made, homegrown.
Same for me. We've never had an investor. Now I have wanted to get an investor. My husband's like, nope, we're not getting an investor. So I've never had an investor, never had any major loans from a bank. Again, working capital, just like Cherie spoke about. I look at Cabbage.com as a great platform for working capital. PayPal working on social media at the Stork Bag. I'm on social media at Mommy CEO. Also, I have a coupon code, a special coupon code for everyone in here. Tell all your friends when you leave out of there too. It's BE20. You get 20% off everything on the website. So even if you're not pregnant, we have something for everyone. Again, it's BE20. You're going to save 20% on everything at the Stork Bag everywhere and at Mommy CEO on Instagram.
So we are everywhere at Sassy Jones Boutique. My personal page is Charisse, that's CHARISN Jones, on Facebook and Instagram. And today, if you guys hang around, the thing that we do call the Sparkle Party, we are going to do a miniature version of it